All right, buckle up, because today we're diving into a question that's been around forever. Can what you eat really impact your health that much?
Good question.
We've got these interview excerpts with Mikhaila Peterson,
Okay.
and her story is like next level food is medicine stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
We're talking someone who at 17 already had a hip replacement, ankle replacement,
Wow.
all because of juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, plus chronic fatigue, depression.
Right.
By her early 20s, she's on like 7 different medications.
And here's the thing.
Yeah.
She didn't grow up on, processed junk.
Right, right.
It was home-cooked meals, what most would consider a healthy start.
So where does it go wrong then? If a clean diet wasn't enough, what's missing?
That is the million-dollar question. And this is where Mikhaila, she really challenges the conventional thinking.
Okay.
She starts noticing even like harmless foods, we're talking citrus right,
Right.
would trigger these just agonizing flare-ups for her.
Oh, wow.
Imagine being 22
Yeah.
and you need Pinterest boards to figure out how to open jars.
Because of arthritis, yeah.
That was her life.
Wow, that's rough. I mean, you can really picture how debilitating that was for her.
Absolutely.
And so this is where I'm guessing the lion diet comes in.
Exactly.
But for those hearing it for the first time, what is it?
So the lion diet, it's about as strict carnivore as you can get.
Okay.
We're talking ruminant meat only.
Okay, so like what does that even include?
Beef, lamb, bison.
Okay.
And that's about it.
No chicken, no pork, no fish.
None.
No.
And definitely no processed meats.
So this wasn't just some random, fad diet she picked up. This was like years of figuring this out. Right.
Exactly. She tried everything. Candida, gluten-free.
Right.
Everything.
But kept hitting a wall.
Yeah, some improvement, but never that complete relief.
So she went to this extreme out of like almost desperation.
It seems extreme, right?
Yeah.
But for her, it was about getting to the root of the problem.
Right.
However unconventional it seemed.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating is even within the carnivore world,
Yeah.
the lion diet is pretty out there. She reacted badly to eggs. Can you imagine?
Wow, allergic to eggs on top of it all.
Yeah.
It just shows you how different everyone is. Like those bell curve examples we talk about. What works for one person might be terrible for someone else.
Exactly. Yeah, it makes you wonder what we don't know about, like, how people react to different foods.
Totally. Like what's healthy for one person could be completely wrong for somebody else.
Exactly.
But it gets even more interesting. Mikhaila talks about how the diet, it wasn't just physical changes, right?
Right.
It affected her mental health, too.
Yeah.
Even when she was still on antidepressants.
Which is a pretty bold claim, right?
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It is. And it kind of gets at what researchers are looking into more and more now, this whole gut-brain connection.
Okay.
We think of our stomachs and our brains as like separate things, but they're talking to each other all the time.
So there's actually like science behind this.
Absolutely.
It's not just some woo-woo thing.
No, not at all. We're learning, like, all the bacteria in our gut, the microbiome, it plays a much bigger role in our health than we thought.
Okay.
And that includes mental health.
Really?
Yeah, it can affect everything from your mood, how you think, even how stressed you get.
So you're telling me like my late night pizza is messing with my brain chemistry.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, everyone's microbiome is a bit different, right?
Right. Back to that.
What affects you might not affect someone else the same way.
Makes sense. But for Mikhaila, she's saying this really helped her depression, even while she was still taking medication.
Yeah, and she even decided to wean herself off the antidepressants.
Oh, wow.
But it sounds like it was really rough.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not something to try on your own.
No, absolutely not. We are not advocating for anyone to stop taking prescribed meds without talking to their doctor.
For sure. This is not the time for DIY healthcare.
No.
But even with how tough it was, Mikhaila said having a good week after stopping her medication was like transitioning out of hell.
Intense. Right.
That is intense. It makes you think, what if we're totally missing how much diet affects mental health?
It's fascinating.
What if it's not just all in our heads, but it's really what we're eating?
It's an area we need to do a lot more research on. But Mikhaila's experience, it kind of lines up with some of the early data.
Yeah.
We're seeing studies now about how changing your diet can actually help with things like depression and anxiety.
Interesting.
It's still early days, but it's definitely exciting.
Now, I know the carnivore diet has gotten some criticism.
Those are all important things to consider.
Yeah, for sure. We got to look at the whole picture.
For sure. But it seems like Mikhaila knew this was coming, right? This whole pushback against carnivore.
Yeah.
Didn't she and her dad, they started that Peterson Academy thing? Partly to address this.
They did.
Okay.
And it's not all about nutrition
Right.
or even health, really.
Yeah.
But it comes from that same place, wanting more diverse viewpoints out there, more critical thinking, especially with stuff like health and wellness, where what we think we know gets challenged sometimes. It's like if one person can change their diet and have these huge results, it makes you wonder what else we're missing.
Totally.
Right.
Like maybe we've got it all wrong.
Yeah.
Mikhaila's story, it's unusual, sure, but it reminds us that everyone's different.
Yeah.
What works for her might not work for you or me. And what we think is normal or healthy, it's usually based on, averages,
Right.
not what individuals actually need.
That's kind of a big deal when you really think about it. This whole deep dive has got me thinking. If we're this different with just food, what about everything else in health and wellness? Could we benefit from a more, personalized approach?
Absolutely. Maybe instead of these one-size-fits-all solutions, we need to focus on what makes each of us tick.
Okay, so it's not about, everyone going carnivore.
No, not at all.
It's about figuring out what works for you.
Exactly. Being your own health detective.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah, asking questions, being curious, and being open to new ideas, even if they sound kind of crazy at first.
Because who knows what we'll find out.
Right.
Well, there you go. Some food for thought, right?
Yes. Nice. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those taste buds happy.
See you next time.